I'm just sitting tight right now. I'm not confident with anything, so just waiting. Yeah, there's sound when I turn on the mic. I was just sitting. I wasn't saying anything. So we had some good opportunities earlier this morning, which was great, and then things kind of stalled out. And so now I've just sort of been sitting here waiting to see if we would get another stock that would start to pop up and pull away. But we haven't. So we're just kind of in a holding pattern. But while we wait, I'm going to give you guys a survey if you'd like to fill it out. This is a survey of a list of potential enhancements that we could add to Day Trade Dash. So this gives you a chance to give some feedback. You know, we've been working on the sim. We got that project complete. We have a couple other projects we're working on, but we're trying to lay out the next big project that we're going to take on. We have a couple ideas, but we want to make sure we get your feedback before we go all in on all of them. We've researched them and scoped them out, but we want to give you guys a chance to give some direction. So that link is posted, and we will be looking, and it's sort of by popular vote. So make sure you make your voice heard, and that way we know, well, the majority of people say they want this, so that's what we gotta do. Um, so let's see. So anyways, leave your comments in the survey. Requests for new day trade dash features. All right. So, and if you, I'm going to post it again right there. But you can also put in requests in the comments of the survey, and then we'll go through all the comments as well. So, just let us know, and that'll help us make these decisions. So James, yeah, put it in the comments because if everything that gets put here, I'm not going to be able to keep track of it. But if it's in the comment of the survey, then that's where I'll see it. So it's the likelihood of getting a lot more action here is pretty limited. Like in the next 35 minutes before the opening bell, roughly. It's not impossible, but it seems like we have Jewel or JWell, whatever you want to call it, this Chinese company, got some good trades on it, but gave back a little off the top, and now it's kind of stalled out. Um, so, you know, I was sort of thinking something else might pop up and take the top spot, but we haven't gotten anything yet, and so maybe that's not going to happen. Maybe this is it, and then at the open, it's back to like the crazy halts and all the volatility comes with that. Chat room starts at 7 a.m. and we keep it open during the week until 5 p.m. Friday, we close at 4, the chat room. So, Nick, that is because we have a different data feed and we filter out some of the erroneous orders that TradingView still includes. So, our data would be arguably cleaner, although it's not complete data because we exclude things that are not correct. You could have a complete feed that includes all those, you know, stale orders and ADFN prints and things like that. But I don't think that, in my experience, is not a better view of the data. I'd rather have a clean view. So that's what we've given you guys. So you've got this lower price stock popping up. To me, I'm not that interested. If it can hold over a dollar, maybe, but I think unfortunately this seems like a distraction. So my general rule of thumb on these is that it needs to hold over a dollar, and when it breaks a dollar and then rejects, well, that doesn't work. So your high a day on this right now is technically $1.15, but only for a moment. They broke the 200 moving average, so that's not a problem. That was a nice pop. I had my hand on the buy button there for the break of $1.10. Went all the way up to $1.32, sort of a flash higher. Yep. I was wondering if that would happen. So the problem with this, see how fast it went up and came right back down? That's probably a short covering at a market, because you don't, a long buyer's not buying at 3 and 350. That's preposterous, right? It's absolutely outrageous. You wouldn't possibly do that. Um, so who's buying at those obscene levels? To me, it's someone who's covering a short position, who's just, maybe they've got a margin call and their brokers just press the buy button on them for 300,000 shares. I mean, how many shares were in that candle? A million shares of volume. So maybe, you know, 750,000 shares of that could have been one short seller. Who knows? But now this is a huge topping tail, and it kind of really messes up the chart. Um, you could argue, well, we're still holding at $1.50, $1.60, and you're right. And maybe we could get a curl higher. So I'm going to take a starter here myself and look for the squeeze through $2 a share. So now there's two. Nice. Can we get 205, 215? So I'm just kind of trying to ride this momentum here. And now over 215, we'll see if we curl higher. So the high of that candle is 211. So watching up in this area, no fill yet. Added right there. Now looking for the curl through 250. So now see as this rallies higher. Got a starter here in the small account. Now looking for the squeeze through 250. So watching this added right there. Now looking for 260, 270. Let's see how much higher we can get. So watching this dip, bought the dip down there. Now looking for the pop back up over 240. Profit for now. And all out. Okay. Whew. So this all green candles on the 1 minute. Um, I don't like that topping tail. I'll say that. However, we do sometimes get a wick reclaim. This would be a pretty crazy one, but where you sort of rally slowly back up. Because in a way, this shows us the potential of how high how high it can go. So now you're up 475%. You want to be careful after a big topping tail like that. But once it started to pull away, that to me made sense for a couple trades. So now sitting in the green, small account and the big account. I don't know if I'll take any more trades here. I might just kind of be grateful that we had this big of a move on Monday morning, and was able to make as much as I've made here. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it. You never know, and so I'll be grateful for it. So we've got little pivots here, like this pivot higher is around 240, and this one is 264. So just be aware those are levels to potentially watch, but we just had our first red candle come in. Yeah, the halt bands are going to be at 15 cents, so be careful. After the open, probably, I mean, the halts will just be ridiculous. So see how it pops up there? We got to be careful of a false breakout in this area. High of that candle is 59. So this is showing traders are willing to jump on it, but is it going to drop right back down? Now, you could argue that shorts might be a little nervous to short it, seeing as it showed it could pop to $4 a share previously. But On the other hand, getting in something at this higher price is also quite risky for us, long bias traders, because it's so extended. So that turns out to be not a jackknife, but not not a it's a false breakout. So uh, I'm just gonna stay off of it for right now. If it had right here when it popped up to 59, if it had kept going to 75.85, I probably would have added for the breakthrough three, looked for a quick squeeze up to 325. Maybe it all of a sudden accelerates and I add at 335, 345. We break 350 and we squeeze up to four. Didn't really expect that to happen, but that was a potential scenario. But I wasn't jumping in there at the break of 250 because I just felt like there was too much risk of a false breakout. So watching this area here, no fill on that attempt. Got a bit of risk up here, just so you know. A little bit of a divergence here on the volume. So we hit a high on that candle of 85. So right now, just watching this area. I've got my order ready up around $3, but not sure if this is going to work or not. Bigger sell off right there. So this is pulling back a little bit more. For those maybe who have just tuned in the last few minutes, I put a link here for a survey. Um, uh, uh, oh, nice job, Andrew. Nice job. This is a survey of feature requests for Day Trade Dash. So if you guys want to add anything, that would be uh, helpful. So, well, today the market continues to be very volatile with some really impressive moves. Not the absolute cleanest uh, price action on all of these, but got enough that I was able to, put together some nice profit. So I'm going to work on my small account challenge recap, then do the main account. So we've got about 5 minutes to the opening bell. I'm going to jump off here. John's going to come on and he'll continue to give you guys market commentary and walk you through the opening range. If you got green today, congratulations. This was kind of a wild day, but good work. If not, look, it's all right. I get it. It would have been easy to be on the wrong side of a couple of these today. So study up and let's try again tomorrow. I'll be back at it 7 a.m. bright and early, and hopefully we see a bit at least we continue to see the 100, 200% moves. I mean, if we keep seeing 5, 600% moves, it's going to be unbelievable, but I'll take it. All right. So with that, I'm going to jump off here and I'll see you guys back at it tomorrow morning. Recaps are coming soon, and I hope you guys take a few minutes to complete the surveys so we can make sure all of your voices are heard as we work on new projects for Day Trade Dash. Okay, see you guys in the morning.
Alrighty, good morning. So usually after every giant big candle like that, the stock will rarely recover. Now it almost looked like they might recover if it was going to hold 245, but it's just a little bit thickly traded now. MACD went red, the volume was going down, and so I had a level at 408, and maybe. I mean, the problem is I think the trade here is over most likely on this stock. Very similar to Juul earlier. Problem with Juul is just not holding the first high from 4 o'clock in the morning, roughly 4:40 in the morning. It tried to hold there, couldn't. It tried to hold it again, it couldn't. And now we're back down below 528. So I really don't like Juul. They have an active S3 and most likely selling. Actually, most likely everything is selling. DKI, they don't have an active S3 or F3, but it's going down, so somebody's selling. And STKH, active F3, couldn't even hold the high from a couple days ago. So we were below that 475, below 510. So nothing's really trending and going up. I would say SCKT is the only thing that's, well, it's going sideways. It's not really trending up. Some of the penny stocks earlier, LRHC down, YMT down, ZJYL below the 200 EMA. But really nothing kind of too interesting here. We might get some curls from the low, but I think short sellers are likely, assuming they didn't take a massive loss on SKCT, which went up about 900%, they probably are up on the day. And it's Monday, so we have a long month ahead here, still pretty early. And so I don't really want to be caught trading or have you guys trading things that are choppy. So let's just sit tight here and see what it does. and the halt bands will be very, very tight. It's almost immediately halting here, 261 or 231. Needs to hold my level of 245. And so this is the beauty of pre-market. We don't have to deal with these halts. You know, you can actually trade and use your skills to buy and sell. If you're trading halts, it's more luck than skill in my view. So let's hang tight and see what can hold up here. The resumption there is only 269, so not even that high. And by the way, this stock also, SCKT has an active S3 as well. I saw a lot of people getting chopped up on Joule earlier in pre-market, and you got to know when to walk away. I can understand getting chopped up here on this candle that failed 621, that last one, but if you kept trading it, you can just tell what they're doing here. That the pattern persists. Basically, one big candle up, sideways chop, one big candle up, sideways chop. And so we have another chop again right now. Actually, that's been the same for almost everything today. Now, I just want to make it clear, this question, is getting into the first halt typically better? No. I mean, you can't treat the halt like a lottery. So I don't really want to answer that question. Is the third halt worse than the first halt? Probably, but it doesn't mean you buy every stock that's about to halt up. That is not the strategy. You have to make sure you're trading something in play, first of all. So you can't just have a blanket rule, let me get into the first halt on everything. Now, AUUD was the one that was doing pretty good earlier in pre-market, but it needs to hold roughly around 141 today. We have a descending level. 493 haul price for STKH. That's kind of busting through the descending level